Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to 3302. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. Today we're going to look at some of the upcoming beta changes for the engineers. There's some information on the Dangerous game's rise to power, and a space station that wants to jump to the opposite side of the galaxy. We're a few weeks now into the beta for the engineers of Elite Dangerous, and last week Sandro Sammarco, the lead designer for Elite Dangerous, spoke about a few upcoming changes that have been made based on the feedback received from the player base. The newsletter covered some of those, and I'm going to go into some details on what the newsletter actually spoke about. So here are some of the upcoming changes. There's going to be some diminishing returns on heat weapons. Heat weapons apparently were too effective and very quickly were capable of frying an opponent's ship. This has now been changed. The hotter a ship gets, the less effective the weapon will now become. This allows the weapon to remain powerful, whilst also allowing the opponent a fighting chance of survival. Cannons have been improved. The shells are now faster and have no fall-off damage, and they now lose less damage against larger ships. Additionally, they have an improved chance to penetrate modules. Frontier have also softened the feedback cascade special effect. These will now no longer cause the shield to completely fail. Instead, they now prevent the deploying shield cells from recharging the shields, and they will also cause damage to the shield cell banks. There's been a number of improvements made to missiles, including increasing their damage, reducing shield resistance to them, as well as making seekers more effective at tracking. Turrets have also been improved, with an increase in the damage they're able to deal, as well as an increase in their rate of fire. There's also been changes elsewhere in the game. It's now possible to interrogate materials to get the details on the locations of those materials, as well as how to find them. These details can be seen in the materials descriptions. Ice mining has been made more profitable. In order to do this, Frontier have made the rare earth resources within ice fields drop more frequently. And there's some changes to the engineers themselves. Crafting modules now favours better results, and this is especially noticeable on weapons that have special effects applied to them. The idea, Frontier say, is that upgrades should of course be upgrades. And there will also now be alternatives to increasing your rep with the engineers. Previously all you could do was get them to keep crafting the same modules over and over, but now other actions will allow you to increase your reputation with them, including things such as selling exploration data, as well as making bounty claims with them. All in all, I personally feel that's a big change and should help eliminate some of the feeling of grinding up your reputation. And finally, Frontier have said that they're going to remove some of the lower ranked materials. All in all, that's going to mean a reduction in the amount of materials actually available in the game, and some of the blueprints would therefore require less materials before you can start crafting. This will get you on the ladder to crafting much quicker and hopefully make the process that much easier and less time consuming. The first steps towards the Danger Games are now getting underway. The Danger Games are a competition whereby a player group will have the chance for the first time to become an official power. There are 5 groups vying for this honour, and there will be a 6th group as a wild card, which will be determined by another competition which I'll get into in a moment. The initial 5 player groups are as follows: the Alliance Diplomatic Corps, the Border Coalition, Gal Corp, Interstellar Communist Union, and the Social Elu Progressive Party. To win the chance to become a power, these groups will have to compete with each other in a sequence of upcoming community goals spread over a number of weeks. And to be successful, these groups will need the support of both their own members as well as a player base at large. And due to the nature of Elite Dangerous, it will be both possible to help these groups as well as hinder them depending on how you feel towards them. The groups have already begun promoting their agendas and reasons for becoming a power, and some of them have even gone as far as to make videos of this. The Border Coalition released a very impressive video a few weeks back, which you can see briefly playing here in the background now, and you can see the full video in the video link below. The SEPP have also released a video, and you can see this one playing right now. To see the entirety of this video, please check out the link in the video description. Now that is just 5 groups of the overall Rise to Power groups. There is a 6th that will be the Wildcard. This is an additional bunch of player-run groups that will have to compete with each other during the Engineers beta, and they will win an opportunity to enter the final phase of the Dangerous Games, allowing them to compete with the other 5 groups and therefore stand a chance of becoming the first player power. There are currently 10 groups vying for the opportunity to win the wildcard entry. Of these, only 5 will go through to the wildcard competition itself. These 5 winners will be determined by a vote put forth by the community, and that vote is going on now. You can vote yourself. It's on the Frontier community site. Again, there is a link in the video description below. Now, in order to vote, you will need to log into the site with your Elite Dangerous account, and that is in order to prevent vote spamming. Of course, you'll only be able to vote once, so make sure you choose your vote wisely. These are the 10 groups vying for the wildcard entry, and I do apologise if I butcher their names. The Blackbird Squadron, the Imperial Inquisition, Battle Vortex, Planet Express, Adele's Armada Coalition, Black Omega, EG Pilots, Wolves of Jonai, United German Commanders Coalition, Pilus Libertas. Now, just like the other 5 main groups, these additional groups are also promoting their efforts and explaining why they should have the opportunity to become a power. And in the video you can see running here, the Wolves of Jonai are making their claim to power status. If you do want to check out the full video, have a look in the video description below. And of course, while you're at it, have a look at Chaos Wolf's own YouTube channel. There's plenty of videos there that are very interesting. And so that I don't show any favouritism towards any of these groups, if any of the other groups out there are listening and they would like their videos promoted, do send me the links and I'll make sure they get put into a future video of mine. Good luck to all the wildcard contestants. The recent community goal for Jaques Station has now completed. Now this station is very famous because it is a travelling station. It jumps from system to system, it jumps around all of inhabited space. But this time the jump is going to be very different. It wants to jump 65,000 light years to the opposite side of the galaxy, Beagle Point, the destination of the Distant Worlds expedition. Whilst unfortunately Frontier have confirmed that any players docked at the station will not make the jump along with the station, nonetheless this is an amazing achievement within the game, and when it actually happens it will represent the furthest point within the galaxy that any station, human station at least, has ever travelled. Last week, Sandro Samarco and community manager Ed Lewis did a live stream talking about the feedback for the Engineers beta. This week they're going to do part 2 of that video series, and you can see that on the following times. That's 7 PM BST on Thursday the 19th of May. Finally, I'd like to make 2 recommendations. The first is the exceptional videos of Titus Balls and his Wonders of the Galaxy series. Now the latest video, like all the others, is really gorgeous, and it does an exceptional job of showing off all the wonderful graphics of the new update. You can see some brief clips of that video playing here, and as you probably noticed, just like my own channel, Titus Balls uses an ultra widescreen setup, giving a nice cinematic feel to all of his videos, and of course his camera work is second to none. The second recommendation I'd like to give is to Cornelius Bridus. You've probably heard of his channel. He makes some exceptionally detailed videos on ship setups, weapons and modules, and he's gone into great length to explain many of the things around the latest update for the Engineers. Well worth checking out, you can learn a whole lot from him. You can find both of these channels in the video description below. Do check them out, highly recommend them. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, and I'm out here on what I feel is a particularly important mission. Jaques Station wants to jump, and it wants to go to the newly renamed Beagle Point, one of the furthest points we can currently reach within the entire galaxy. This monumental undertaking will take Jaques Station over 60,000 light years, and would at last give all commanders a refuge out there in the deep void of space. I don't know how long the station will be there for, but it will represent the furthest any station has ever travelled. and for a station to travel that far, it requires serious resources, and with that in mind, Jaques has enlisted the help of the Fuel Rats, the player-run search and rescue group that has assisted many thousands of commanders. Together, they have set up a community goal for the delivery of hydrogen fuel, and although I'm here on the final day of that, I'm hoping at least to make a minor contribution.